Hello and good evening, and thank you for attending this webinar presented by the World Mission Society Church of God in Orange County. My name is Roselle Malari, and I'm honored to be your host for tonight. To begin, let us start off with a short activity, and I would like everyone who's in this webinar to participate. So first, I would like everyone to stand very still. To those who are sitting, sit very, very still. Now, try not to smile. I see you smiling. Try not to smile. Now, go ahead and frown as much as you can. Are you frowning? Good. Now try to laugh. And make sure you laugh with all your heart. Now, was that difficult? Actually, when we give in to laughter, it is impossible to be unhappy afterwards. According to scientists, laughter is recommended to alleviate pain and even strengthen bonds between people. Think of the familial bond. The bond between mothers, fathers, and their children is the glue that keeps the family together. So through this first segment, we are going to explore the importance of laughter in a family and the happiness it ultimately brings. So let us come to understand this concept through the Clark family. So let us see.
I'd be nothing without you. Ooh, there'd be no song without you, without you. When I'm down and out and feel like there is nothing left for me, you save me. I'd feel nothing without you. Ooh, there'd be no song without you, without you. When I got into a fight and you stood right up for me, you saved me, you saved me.
God bless you. I'm Monte.
God bless you. I'm Brittany.
And we're the Clarks. It's my honor and privilege to be able to share this presentation with you. Thank you all for joining us tonight, and I hope you enjoyed tonight's presentation.
Tonight we're going to be going over laughter is followed by blessings. Through this presentation, we are going to understand how to communicate with our family through laughter.
To start off, let me begin to share with you how the Church of God has brought true happiness into my family by emphasizing the teachings of the Bible. Through the last 6 years, my family has become more united, stronger, and full of love through the teachings of the Church of God in every way. Do you know another name for communication?
No.
Actually, communication is laughter. Laughter and communication is to exchange one's mind so there can't be laughter between two people who don't share the same minds and will. Laughter lets people understand each other even though they don't say what's in their hearts. So we can say that laughter is the best way to communicate.
The place where there should be more laughter than anywhere else is the home. And the ones we should try to please more than anyone else is our family members. How can we find laughter anywhere else if we can't find it at home? And how can we make someone else happy if we can't make our own family members happy? When we share laughter with our family members, even small laughter becomes great strength to cope with crisis.
Fellas, if the father laughs first, the whole home atmosphere changes in every home. The father's laughter has a great influence on the home atmosphere.
A comedian whose job it is to make other people laugh surprised people by confessing that he was quiet and unfriendly at home. He said that he was not the only comedian like that. It means that since they do their best to make others laugh, they don't have any energy to do it at home. No matter what the reasoning is, it is very sad that they can make their family members happy.
Hey Brittany, you want to hear a story?
Yeah.
There was a boy who didn't like studying. He brought his test result home. He got an F in every single subject except PE, in which he got a D. His father could have been very angry, but he said to his son, "I think you focus on one subject too much."
Of course, it's a story someone made up for fun, but let us use this kind of humor for our little children. Of course, we cannot discipline them with laughter all the time. However, if we often divert an unhappy feeling into laughter, it will have a greater effect than a severe discipline.
In the past, a serious and patriarchal father was considered a good father. Now, however, a humorous and kind father who spends much time with their children are acknowledged as good fathers. If you laugh a lot with your family members and please them, then your home will be happier all the more.
Children grow up rightly when their families laugh a lot. Just as there is a saying that goes, parents are mirrors for their children. If the parents laugh a lot, the children also laugh a lot. Children who laugh a lot feel peaceful and relaxed mentally and physically. It does not mean that we must treat our children with smiley faces all the time. If they do something wrong, you need to talk with them with a firm voice. However, when the children feel the sincere heart of the parents, the children admit their faults and begin to repent. Homes with constant laughter have no conflicts or disputes. It's because laughter already forms an effective bond among family members in such homes.
Children who grow up in these kind of homes are sociable, genuine, and wise enough to swim through the rough ways of life, overcoming crisis with laughter. Did you know about 80% of juvenile delinquents show that they have never seen their mothers laugh at home? It is more likely that parents who don't laugh much have an unstable personality and set of values. So in homes without much laughter, children are less likely to have a good character.
There is a very small possibility that bright children who laugh a lot grow up to be a juvenile delinquent. Laughter is a positive energy, and positive people have a bright and positive attitude for their lives. Let's take care of the family's health with laughter.
Laughter is directly related to health. An ancient Greek doctor by the name of Miltus said, the Greek word gelos, meaning laughter, derived from the meaning of health. People knew that laughter and health are closely related a long time before modern medical science discovered the effects of laughter. It is well known that laughter relieves pain. An American author by the name of Norman Cousins, who was diagnosed with a rare disease called ankylosing spondylitis, which causes severe pain, took 26 tablets of aspirin and 12 tablets of phenylbutazone every day. But there was no sign of getting better. However, as he began to laugh out loud watching comedy shows, the pain went away and he was able to fall asleep without any sleeping pills.
Wow, that's amazing. I can see how laughter strengthens the immune system as much as a vaccination does. It lowers blood pressure, relaxes blood vessels, and increases oxygen availability to the breath. It also helps cure diabetes and is effective like an exercise. Like this, laughter is the easiest way to take care of the family's health from little children to elderly people. Scientifically speaking, what's the best way to laugh?
Well, when you laugh, try to open your mouth big and use your whole body to laugh. When you laugh out loud, your heart and mind can open and you can laugh genuinely. If you laugh out loud, it is good for your health as the nerves under your eyes are stimulated and they help secrete hormones such as endorphins and dopamine.
Never laugh alone, but always together. One famous American author named Mark Twain said, "Sadness reduces even if you leave it the way it is. But if you want to get perfect joy, you need someone to share it with. If you laugh together with someone, you feel more relaxed, and it is 33 times better effective than when you laugh alone."
So then, what you're saying is we should practice laughter each day with a smile?
Yes, we should practice each day with a smile. Smile sweetly on Sunday, smile magnificently on Monday, smile terrifically on Tuesday, smile wonderfully on Wednesday, smile tenderly on Thursday, smile fervently on Friday, smile splendidly on Saturday. If you practice each day with a smile, you'll be smiling 365 days a year.
Laugh more when you're having a hard time. Just as there is a saying that goes, we don't laugh because we're happy, but we're happy because we laugh. Try to think positively and laugh when there's a problem that doesn't seem like it's going to be solved. It is said that the Jews didn't forget to laugh even in the face of Nazi oppression. Let's remember that laughter shines more brightly when you are exhausted and in despair. Once again, we want to thank you for joining us and we hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. God bless you. Did you know when life gives you melons, you might be dyslexic? I used to think I was indecisive, but now I'm not so sure. Did you know how many times I failed math?
How many?
So many times I can't even count.
Wow, could you have guessed how much of an impact laughter can have? How amazing that something so simple can reap many blessings. In our everyday life, there are a million reasons to laugh. So let's pick one every single day. Now, I have a question for you. Who here has ever been stressed? I'm sure everyone now their hands are held up high. But the more important question is, what helps us to relieve stress? I'm sure you all have different answers, but there's one answer in particular that is the subject of our next segment. Now, I'm going to pass it over to Louis Lozano. Let's take a look.
Hi, my name is Louis Lozano, and I'm so glad you were able to join us today. A little bit about myself. I'm a multimedia communications professional with a bachelor's in mass communication and electronic media. I'm also a proud member of the World Mission Society Church of God with over 9 years of experience as an instructor. And today I'd like to share with you the title of the presentation, which is The Resounding Impact of Mother's Voice. So here, I'd like to engage with you through one test. For the test, I need your help. So if you could please type in math in the comment section below, I'll give you a second if you're able to help me. Now, what I'm going to ask is very, very simple. Here on the screen, you can see a math problem. And the person I call on will need to step forward and solve and explain the problem in front of the whole group. Pretty simple, right? So then, who should I call? Now, I bet you're feeling that your heart is beating a little bit faster. If I were to really ask you to come and solve the problem in front of the whole group, your stress levels will start to rise, regardless if the problem is difficult or easy. Then, in the case, what is your best way to relieve stress? Is it getting well-needed rest, eating delicious food, exercising, or listening to relaxing music or reading an interesting novel? What would be your first option to get rid of stress? Everybody has their own way to reduce their inner stress, but today I'd like to suggest a new way. You take your phone and you call your mother. Mother's voice brings psychological stability. According to a study conducted by the Wisconsin-Madison University, which observed psychological stability, we can understand the influence that a mother's voice has on her child. Leslie Seltzer, a biological anthropologist, examined a group of children from the ages of 7 to 12 with an impromptu speech and a series of math problems in front of a panel of strangers, just as I asked you to do. At that moment, their hearts were racing, and the levels of cortisol, a hormone associated directly with stress, began to rise. Then the children were divided into 3 groups. The first group was comforted in person by their mothers. The second group watched an emotionally neutral video. And the final group talked with their mothers over the telephone. The effect of the mother's voice was remarkable. Of course, the first group was able to interact with their mothers and felt relaxed. Surprisingly, however, the third group, who were able to interact with their mothers via the phone, also had virtually the same hormonal response as the first group. The children's level of oxytocin, often known as the love hormone, rose significantly and cortisol vanished. Previously, it was understood that when cortisol is released in the context of social bonding, usually it requires actual physical contact. However, these results that even hearing mother's voice can have the same effect. In other words, our mother's voice itself makes us relax. This is a fact that you might have expected. However, our mother's voice gives us not only psychological stability, but even more than that. Another study done by Stanford University School of Medicine, which is a mother's voice activates her child's brain, studied how our brains get activated when we hear our mother's voices by examining 24 children ages 7 to 12. Every child's mother recorded 3 words that do not make sense. The reason the researchers had to use nonsense words is that using words that have a meaning would affect the whole different set of circuitry in the brain. While scanning the children's brains via MRI, they let the children listen to short clips of the recordings. Some recordings contained their mother's voice, and other recordings contained voices of unrelated women. While this was taking place, they carefully observed the brain's reactions. Amazingly, the children could recognize their mother's voices with exceptional precision. Even though the clips were very short, less than a second long, the children identified their mother's voices with more than 97% accuracy. The results of the MRI were more surprising. The brains were activated much more when they heard their mother's voice than that of other women. It's not only for the primary auditory cortex, which is related to auditory sense. The mother's voice affected several different regions of her child's brain. The amygdala is the region of the brain that handles emotions. The mesolimbic reward pathway is the medial prefrontal cortex, is the brain region that manages reward processing. The default mode network is the region that detects information about the personal relevance. Also, the area of the brain that are involved in perceiving and processing sight of faces were all impacted by the mother's voice. What was also extraordinary is that the children who had a stronger degree of connection between all of these regions of their brain, when they heard their mother's voice, also had the strong social communication abilities. Reviewing the results, the lead author, Daniel Abrams, said that our mother's voice is helpful to not only communication skills, but also our ability to form interpersonal relationships. When children spend more time with their mothers and listen to their mother's voice, they can develop successfully and live in harmony with others. Like this, a mother's voice has a great effect on a human. Then if a mother's voice has this kind of effect on our physical body, then what kind of effect does it have on our spiritual body? The Bible says, if there is a natural body, there's also a spiritual body. It also says there's also a heavenly bodies and there are earthly bodies. Then how can we receive our heavenly body from God? When we look in Revelation chapter 4 verse 11 and Romans chapter 1 verse 20, it says that all things were created by God's will, and God's invisible qualities and divine nature are clearly seen, being understood from what has been made. Therefore, we can clearly understand how we can receive a heavenly body from God by how He allowed us to receive our physical bodies. As a mother gives life to her children, as you know, physical mothers suffer extreme pain shedding blood during pregnancy in order to bear a child. As a result, a mother and her child are tied by love throughout their entire lives. The Bible also says in Galatians chapter 4 verse 26, "The Jerusalem that is above is free, and she is our mother." As you know, we do not call any woman mother. Only the woman that gives birth to us is our mother. Therefore, the woman that gives birth to our soul is our spiritual mother. The Bible clearly explains and testifies that just as our physical bodies were given birth by our physical mothers, our spirit is born again through the spiritual mother. God created our earthly mothers according to heaven's will, so that we can clearly understand Heavenly Mother. The first experiment we discussed is the scientific evidence that proves our physical mother's voice directly removes stress from our lives in this chaotic world. This clearly shows the power of the spiritual mother's voice to remove and cleanse our souls from the pain caused by our sins. The second experiment identifies the fact that our earthly mother's voice holds the greatest influence on our emotions, development, and overall life. Therefore, our Heavenly Mother's voice has the greatest authority in transforming, recreating, and completing us by her every word. From all of these, we can make a conclusion that even personal problems can be solved by following the voice of our Heavenly Mother. Her voice rewires our brains and soul. Then, according to the scientific evidence, what does the world need to solve all the problems originated from lack of communication and broken harmony? The solution can also be found in our Heavenly Mother's voice. Truly, Heavenly Mother's voice resounds through the entire universe. However, the Bible foretells that one day our spiritual mother would come down from heaven to this earth. In Revelations 21 verse 9, John heard, "Come, I will show you the bride, the wife of the Lamb." And he wrote, "He carried me away in the Spirit to a mountain great and high, and he showed me the holy city Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God." The Bible depicts clearly and vividly our Heavenly Mother coming down out of heaven to this earth. Then, why does she need to come down to this earth? It's because we need to hear her voice. The Bible clearly tells us that Heavenly Mother would come to the earth in the flesh so that we can hear her voice. As if the biblical evidence was not enough, God has given us scientific evidence so that we can realize why our spiritual mother comes down out of heaven to this earth. So she must appear on this earth in the flesh, so we can hear her voice that impacts us to become her children and be saved. Therefore, when we know, obey, and absolutely believe in Jerusalem, Heavenly Mother, she will fulfill the prophecy that the least will become 1,000, and the smallest a mighty nation. In conclusion, it's an undeniable fact that we desperately need to hear Heavenly Mother's voice for our own benefit and the benefit of those around us. Then why does Heavenly Mother's voice have an unparalleled impact on us? As our physical mothers created an unbreakable bond with us through their painful suffering for 9 months, our spiritual mother from heaven is recreating us through her hidden sacrifice of over 6,000 years. She makes us complete with her untiring love through her words of life. Then, is there any voice, music, sound that is more valuable, precious, or beneficial for us to hear other than our Heavenly Mother's voice? According to the concrete evidence, I'm sure you've found the answer. Thank you, Heavenly Mother, so much for always guiding us with your voice, containing your patient love and boundless sacrifice. So thank you so much for joining us today and listening to the resounding impact of Mother's voice. I hope that we all realize how important not only our physical mothers, but also our spiritual mother is, so that we can be saved in our time. Thank you so much for coming, and we'll see you next time.
Hi, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the presentation about a mother's resounding voice. A mother's voice is an ever-flowing source of comfort in our lives of difficulties. Through coded instincts, God testifies to the importance of our spiritual mother, the source of salvation. those who would like to receive salvation, listen and respond to the voice of Heavenly Jerusalem Mother. By doing so, we become part of the heavenly family. Now, before we end, I would like to take a moment to encourage all our guests this evening to go ahead and leave a comment down below. Let us know what you thought about tonight's webinar. Was it good? Was it insightful? Maybe inspiring or even educational? Now, if you're the one who is thinking, Roselle, I'd like to know more about this, then please contact the person who invited you to this Bible webinar so that you may learn more about the existence of our Heavenly Jerusalem Mother. Well, I hope you have received much understanding from this evening's webinar. Thank you so much for joining, and we hope to see you again soon. God bless you.
Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. Now it looks as though they're here to stay. Oh, I believe in yesterday. Suddenly, I'm not half the man I used to be. There's a shadow hanging over me. Oh, yesterday came suddenly. Why she have to go, I don't know, she wouldn't say. I said something wrong, now I long for yesterday. Yesterday, love was such an easy game to play. Now I wish that I could hide away. Oh, I believe in yesterday. Why'd she have to go? I don't know, she wouldn't say. I said something wrong, now I long for yesterday. Yesterday, love was such an easy game to play. I need a place to hide away. Oh,